Often when you're with clients for the first time, you have about 15 minutes of time in the barn to make an assessment to help get that next visit, or to build confidence in yourself, in what you can provide to the dairy. So the crucial part is to get into the areas like transition cows, to get a look at them and make a quick assessment from what you can do here in the feed aisle. Stuff like looking at bunks to see if there's enough feed in there, looking at stocking densities, judging the overall environment, looking at how the cows are laying in stalls. All this has a crucial impact on the fertility of a dairy, and it's all stuff that you can see walking down the feed aisle during that first visit to help ask the right questions to your clients and know where you're going to look when you start to look at things like dairy comp data or dairy track data, to ask those next questions to help your clients improve. So when I go on a dairy, first time that I've ever made the visit, and we want to talk about fertility, the first spot I go to is the transition cows. Transition cows are where fertility starts in a dairy herd. That cow that's being dried off at 60 days of milk, she's 120 days away from being rebred, and we want to make sure that she gets through that entire process from the time she's dried off until the time she's going to be rebred at day 60 to 70 days of milk. We want to make sure that whole process is as smooth as possible to ensure the fact that that the best fertility is going to be there at first breeding. So solid reproductive management starts with solid transition cow management. Transition cows are the core of your herd, and you need to focus on them to make sure that your fertility is at its best. Why would I start looking at dry cows when I'm thinking fertility first? Well, dry cows, that's a crucial period in the animal's life where she needs to get through it without a body score condition change. She needs to enter that dry period at an adequate body condition score, around 325, 35, depending on the dairy. And she also just has to maintain that same score, not gain weight or lose weight through that period. So these are crucial aspects to it. To do that, she always needs to have adequate access to feed. She always has to have adequate access to lay down, stocking densities of 80%. They have to have a way to rest and get ready for that, getting ready for that next lactation that comes around soon. Density for a dairy barn with stalls, you're looking at a density of around 80%, both in that close-up and dry-off period, as well as when you go into the fresh cow pens. And also what you're looking for as a dairy, it's just to notice that they have protocols in place and they've thought their transition through in an adequate way. What you're looking at is to make sure that pen move is probably 21 days prior to calving, but not too close to calving. Look at how the cows are grouped, how often they are regrouped, are just some of the things to look at. And then when you're looking at the close-up cows, make sure that they have a clean, good area to freshen and calve out so that they're not exposed to pathogens both for the calf or the dam when they actually calve at that period of time. So yeah, you want to make sure that the calving area is clean so that you lower your risk of metritis and other uterine diseases that could have happened post-calving going forward. When it comes to fertility, first in fresh cows, what you're thinking of is that, again, stocking densities, adequate access to feed, and competition. You want to make sure that those cows always have access to clean, fresh feed. You don't want to make sure they don't have competition at the bunk. Again, that 80% stocking density is crucial in that period to make sure that the cows are not competing for resources that will cause them not to ramp up into lactation, as well as the stalls. You want to make sure that they have enough stall space, again, at that 80% level to grow. If the dairy has the proper setup, ideally those animals' first lactations are separated from the older mature cows to make sure that the first lactations get off to that first lactation start that you want better and without the competition of older, stronger, dominant animals in that pen. Other than that, one tool that really has changed the way we manage fresh cows is AI-24 and the rumination monitoring technology that's come with that. AI-24 rumination monitoring technology helps us understand what the fresh cow is doing, helps her understand if she has metabolic diseases, which will impact her fertility when we go to breed her in first service. If we want high first service conception, We need to manage the transition cow period, and AI-24 with its sensors, its 24-hour monitoring helps us improve the cow health.